How's everybody doing? Thank you for joining me for another episode of Unleashed Alchemy. I'm so glad you're here. We're celebrating 100 subscribers, okay? That is 101 of us, okay, including myself, who know that we are put here to experience constant spiritual transformation, spiritual elevation, spiritual expansion so that we can live our fullest soul fulfilled life at an optimal level. Okay, that is what we were put here for. So I celebrate you for being here. Thank you, new subscribers, for all of you that have been here from the very first episode. You are very much appreciated. Okay, so in this episode, I'm going to make this quick. I'm going to try. Anyway, this episode, I want to bring up a topic that has actually been, this wasn't the planned topic for this episode, but this is a topic that has been kind of just beaming in my heart and in my mind to talk about. And it's dealing with how to go about or what to consider before you go and get a reading, whether it's a spiritual reading, whether it's an ancestral reading, whether it's a psychic reading, tarot reading. And the reason why this is a very important topic, and it's always been an important topic, but especially now, because what you're going to see, what we've already seen, is, there's so much what appears to be uncertainty in the world. There are things, there's genocide happening, and it almost seems to say that it seems like a shit show. It's probably an understatement. All right. And so you have, this fear around AI, fear around technology in general. There are many changes that we see that look like it's not changing for good. Okay. So what that does is it can spark fear, and has sparked fear in a lot of people. The way that I like to look at it is that it has sparked this, okay, now I know that I am here for a purpose. It has sparked an excitement. It has sparked a rejuvenation in many people. And that includes you if you're here. It has sparked this rejuvenation in you to say, okay, I'm here for a reason. Yes, I see what's happening around me. Yes, I see what's happening in the world. But I know I was put here as a change agent, a positive change agent to bring in a world that is filled with love and harmony and peace. And I'm going to start with my world, with myself, with my inner world first. Okay, that's how I am choosing to look at this. With that being said, based on back to the fear that has sparked in a lot of people, you're going to see a lot of people that are, calling themselves readers, that are calling themselves spiritualists, that are calling themselves coaches, which is fine. And I'm not saying that there aren't people that are legit. I'm not saying that those people that are choosing to give themselves that title, that they don't have good intentions behind it. But you have to remember is that there are going to be people who are going to use what is happening in the world. They're going to use that to their advantage by giving themselves that title because of the spark in this spiritual awakening that is happening for a lot of people. You're going to have a lot of people that are not going to have good intentions. They're going to call themselves, spiritualist, and, come see me for a spiritual consultation so I can give you a psychic reading, so I can tell you, where your life is headed, so I can tell you, where you've been, where you are, where you're going. And they're not going to have good intentions behind it. They're only going to use it to gain profit. They're only going to use it for to put money in their pocket. Okay? Long story short, you're going to have people posing as legit spiritualists because they see so many people now looking for answers. They're going to see so many people now having these elevated consciousness moments and this elevation in their spirituality. And so you're going to have people that are looking for answers, and these fake spiritualists is what I'm going to call them, these fake readers that are going to try and use that to gain, for profitable gain, and that's it. Now, does that mean that a legit spiritualist who does charge for a reading is only using that for profitable gain? No. Every single spiritualist, every single legit spiritualist who is doing this because they're passionate about it and because they are doing this because they know this is their work in the world for this time, they should be charging. Okay, because you have to remember that there is an exchange. When you give someone money for a service product, that is an energetic exchange. So, yes, every spiritual coach, every spiritual teacher should be charging, should be getting something in return in the form of currency for their services because of the energy that they are putting forth in their work. Okay, so yes. Now, what does this mean for you? Spiritual readings are important. I look at the way that I look at a spiritual reading or a spiritual consultation. To me, it's no different than going to a therapist. Okay? It's focused on your spirituality, which to me, if I'm now that I've just said that and I'm thinking about it now, to me there's no difference. Okay? Because we're all spiritual beings. Whether you, and if you've been here for a long time, you know that I say this all the time. Whether you call yourself a spiritual being or not, you are a spiritualist because you are soul first, your spirit first in a body. Okay, to be able to be grounded on this physical plane while you live this human life. All right, side note. So, when you go or before you go to get a reading, before you go to get a spiritual reading, psychic reading, tarot reading, you need to go internally first. Why am I saying that? Because this will keep those fake spiritualists that I mentioned earlier, this will keep them out of your path. Why? Because you have already done the inner work first. When you do the inner work first, when you have invested the time in yourself first, when you have invested the time through meditation, through journaling, through asking a question from spirit, what am I to do now? And actually investing the time to sit and hear an answer versus asking the question and then looking and searching outside of yourself for the answer, to grab hold of something that seems like an answer. When you have done what you'll hear people call shadow work, which to me is the same as just saying when you have observed your honest thoughts and feelings and emotions about anything that has gone in your life, good or bad, past, present. When you have taken the time to process your own emotions, all of that is inner work. Okay? When you have done that first, number one, it keeps you from being desperate to look to someone else to give you answers. And that is what these fake spiritualists are feeding off of. I mentioned fear earlier, but also they're feeding off of desperation. Good, because people are searching for answers. So when you have done the inner work, when you have allowed your nervous system to be settled, to be in harmony, to embody the messages that you have received already from spirit, from your soul, you will not be desperate to search and get answers from outside of yourself. Your energy in going to get a reading is not going to be out of desperation. It is not going to be out of fear. So when you do feel the call to go get a reading, and again, it doesn't matter what it is, ancestral, a spiritual consultation, a psychic reading, tarot reading. When you go and get this reading, number one, you're going to be guided to someone who is legit. And again, by legit, I mean someone who knows that they were put here to provide that type of space, that type of service to other soul aligned individuals. And they have good intentions. They're doing it out of love. They're doing it because they know that this is what they were put here to do for this time. They know that they have a purpose in bringing in a new age, bringing in a new way of living that is complete with love, wisdom, harmony, balance, luxury. Okay? You will be guided. You don't have to worry about, oh my God, I have this reading with somebody, or how do I know if the person is right for me? How do I know if this person is legit? You will not have any of those worries. Because why? You've done the inner work first. So there is no fear, there is no desperation. Also, when you know that you've done the inner work, when you do book a reading with a spiritualist, with a spiritual coach, spiritual mentor, spiritual teacher, spiritual counselor, you are not attached to any type of the information that you're going to receive. There is no expectation. Why? Again, because I keep going back to this, because you are settled in what you have already been shown about yourself. So then, when you get into the reading and you start, spirit starts to infuse that teacher with the information that is for you. Most of that information is going to be confirmation for what you already know. You're going to already intuitively be familiar with that information. Okay? Now, does that mean that you won't receive new information? No. But even that new information is going to kind of like be the cherry on top. It's going to bring all the information that you already know together into a cohesive grid, so to speak. Okay? So I wanted to bring this topic up because I look at, there are other, people on YouTube, spiritualists on YouTube that I subscribe to, that I listen to, that have good information. And every now and then I read the comments, and there are so many people there's so much of this desperate energy. There's so much of this hectic energy of, the main question that I keep seeing is, oh my God, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? There's so much stuff going in the world. I don't know how I can be a change agent. What am I supposed to do? Those people that ask that question, that come in with that type of frantic energy in those questions, those are people that have not taken the time to get still and do their own inner work. because they're too desperate in seeking those answers outside of themselves. They're too busy looking for other people to give them that information that they need to obtain themselves, that they need to tap into their own inner wisdom, into their own spirit, into their own soul to discover. And so, those are the people that will be more susceptible to crossing paths with a fake spiritualist, a fake spiritual coach, a fake spiritual teacher who will only use this time to put money in their pocket. They are not real. They are not tuned in to their own spirit. 9 times out of 10, they probably just copied or memorized some words that they heard someone else say. Okay, they probably have some scripted, answer to questions that people may ask them during a reading. And just because it sounds good or it sounds right, they would be willing to let that come out of their mouths for some money, to put some money in their pocket. All right, so I'm bringing this to you, to all of you that are here, to let you know that you do not have to be susceptible to that. Before you go and get a reading, before you go sit down with any type of spiritual counselor, make sure that you are settled in your nervous system. Make sure that you've done the inner work for yourself. Okay, first, do not go and get a reading out of fear and desperation, and only you can answer that for yourself. So if you have had the thought, or if you have had the question, well, should I go get a reading? I want you to sit down, do this exercise. You could take 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or however long, but my point in saying that is it doesn't have to be a long exercise. If you have had the question of, well, do I need to go get a reading? Should I go get a reading? Write that question out. And then whatever comes up, whatever thoughts come up, write those out and observe what is coming up. That's how you know what energy that you're in while you're asking that question. Is it an energy of desperation? Is it an energy of fear? Or is it an energy of just, I just want to go get a reading? I have all these downloads from spirit that I'm excited about. I have an idea of what I've been called to do. And I just want to go get a reading just to see if I can bring it all together. And there is no harm in doing that. So just take the time to do that writing exercise and just see what comes up. So thank you for listening. I know I said that this was going to be a short video. Okay, it's 18 minutes and some seconds. But anyway, it was very important for me to come on here and talk about that. I may do an expanded version of this at another time, but let me know if you have any questions for me. Unleashed Alchemy Mystery School is open. Also, I do spiritual consultations myself. All right. So the link to check out the Mystery School, Unleashed Alchemy Mystery School, and the link to schedule some time with me is in the description box of this video. All right. And also, again, I want to stress, if you have any questions about what I've talked about here in this video, please leave them for the comments. Please leave them in the comments for me. All right. And I will get back to you shortly. All right. And until next time, cheers.